LCAC, which provides that nor tolerate discrimination against students or employees on the basis of moving on to superintendent's proposals and updates. And first, we've got the ratification of the 2025-28 administrative contract.
I'm recommending approval of the 25 through 28 administrator negotiated contract.
You can get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. And next, we've got local delegate to the MSBA Annual Delegate Assembly. And do we have any volunteers?
So this is something that happens annually, and I guess everyone is familiar with that. The delegate assembly this year is scheduled virtually for October 18th at 9:30. And DA will hold a Penquist regional meeting on September 8th. That's also via Zoom. And the delegate assembly is responsible for the proposed constitution and bylaw changes and the consideration, the considered resolutions of the association. So it is an important representation for one of us to take on.
I'm happy to volunteer.
Okay.
I'll move to nominate
Thank you.
Chair Luciana.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Okay, 5-0.
Thank you.
And I can be in. Alternative.
Thank you. Great. And next we are moving to the approval of the amendment of. Thank you. Approval, motion to approve the superintendent's contract with changes as discussed. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
5-0.
And moving on to information items. Up first, we have the update on the campaign of belonging.
Director Ray Finney is going to share the presentation that we're putting together to summarize the campaign of belonging that we are embarking on in a more formal way this year.
Thank you, everyone. So this was something that we did a soft launch of last spring. It is odd to hear myself and echo. But to let you know, so moving forward with our belonging campaign, we wanted to make sure there was something that everyone could participate in. And so with that, we have launched the hashtag We Are Bangor. And that will actually be associated with all of our posts in regards to our belonging campaign. It allows us to track engagement. It allows us to have a slogan. We also have merchandise. If you go on the school's website and you buy a polo or a t-shirt, you can actually get that printed with We Are Bangor and the Ram logo. So there's ways that you can express your belonging as well. With this, you'll notice there are some things that have continued, but what we want to do is make sure that the communication plan is set up so that there's more access to communication across our school department. So our objective for this is to foster a sense of belonging within the Bangor School Department for students, parents, staff, and community members. It's really to make sure that everyone feels like they belong in Bangor. Some things that are familiar, student testimonials, staff spotlights, but something that's new to this is our community partner section. With the superintendent's blessing, I have reached out to multiple community partners to be part of this endeavor. And that those community partners, so there is no sound to these videos, just want to make sure that you guys are aware. They're just there for background. With community partners, we have reached out to people that we are already partnering with, or organizations that we're partnering with, and asked them to be official partners of the belonging campaign. So what does that ask entail for them is different based on what organization we're talking to. So for example, you'll see here the Bangor Band. We actually host the Bangor Band on Tuesdays during the summer when it rains outside. We also host them during the school year. But what does Bangor Band have to do with the Bangor School Department? It offers an additional place for our students who are musicians to actually audition and be a part of a community organization. It also provides a service to the community within our schools, and it strengthens that community bond that we have. We've also reached out to others, which I will talk about a little bit further on in the presentation. Those community partners have actually agreed to do videos as well, talking about what it means to them to be part of the Bangor School Department. And we're looking forward to showcasing those as we move through our campaign. Other things you will see are student experiences, being more present in classroom spaces and club spaces to show what students are doing outside of those testimonials. Showing more school performances. And also last year, we did something called Fun Fridays. And instead of saving things for Fridays, we're now going to have joyful journeys. Things happen all the time in the Bangor School Department. So it's really focusing on those as they happen and not saving them for the end of the week. So it's being more present in that time. Also, our schools are really good at doing multiple things. And I was hesitant as to what I would actually post on Friday because I would have 6 videos lined up. And so it was, which do I showcase? How will people know that that's what was going on this week, or they've already seen it? Because we also share things in our personal lives. So being more on top of those. I actually wanted to share a video about the social engagement piece that we have. And let's see if I can do this. So this is our robotics team. They've actually been working this summer and they have a little video they wanted to share. The call. So starting next week, you will see these videos starting to pop up. At the same time, we'll go back to our presentation. We went to the very end instead of where it should go. We'll get there. We've done some other things with our website and our outreach to people, trying to engage them over the summer, but also we'll continue to engage them throughout the school year. So photo contests, encouraging people with kindness and caring campaigns, that National Day of Paying It Forward, which is actually in February, but doing monthly special or promotions about that. In our pursuit of community partners, we also have people who have donated things to us to assist with that. So we have local businesses who have given us certain things. So for example, the Bangor Symphony Orchestra has given us 12 sets of 2 tickets to give to people who participate in our videos to say thank you for being a part of the campaign. There's also the Bangor Y has given us monthly memberships for our members who do things. We have others who have said they're going to donate gift certificates to the cause as well. So the community response has been wonderful, and we're looking really forward to making sure that we can continue this. The other piece we wanted to put in as well is inspirational quotes. There's a lot of quotes that talk about belonging and the importance of belonging. This quote that I have here says, "In the end, we all want to do the same thing, to belong." And it's Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. When he was rebranding Starbucks, he had left and he came back. He really wanted people to see the store and his restaurant as a place where people could do more than just drink coffee. He knew that his coffee was expensive. He knew that it was a lot of competition, especially in Seattle, where he was based. And how do you get people to come in? You make people feel like they belong, like they're at home. you have couches, you have the ambiance. I've been to that original Starbucks store. It's awesome. I stayed for a couple of hours. So that's what we want to have that feeling with Bangor as well. Once we do these inspirational quotes, the pictures will actually be posted in the schools as well. So students will see themselves reflected in those pieces that we're promoting. As you have all received, there are newsletters that our faculty, our principals, and work with faculty and staff to put out. There are welcome videos as well. So each principal is currently recording videos to welcome people back to their schools. Those will start on next Tuesday, which is the second day of the second. All elementary schools will have theirs posted on Tuesday. The 4-5 schools will be Wednesday, the middle schools Thursday, and the high school on Friday. The reason for that tapered release is so that people know when the videos will come out, but also they can look forward to finding theirs based on where their child is based in that. I have a video of Principal Sweat, actually. Hers is very similar to the video that you saw. I won't play it because of potential sound issues. But in that video, she welcomes students back. She welcomes families back. She lets them know of their open house date, the first day of school, and she lets them know that if they don't need to bring school supplies, but if they need help with a backpack or a lunch bag, that they have those available. So it's a little bit of a message preparing people to come back to school. We're also starting a podcast. And so Superintendent Robinson and Chairperson Luciano will be the hosts of our podcast. We've called it Beyond the Bell because there's so much more that happens in a school and school. So we're looking for a monthly podcast that will be 10 to 20 minutes long with experts from the Bangor School Department and the community to actually talk about different things. Our first topic is actually the campaign of belonging. And we're hoping to have Dr. Fearon, our school psychologist, talk about the importance of belonging in school and the feelings of why it's important to belong. So I have a list of questions that we've prepared for her. And as soon as she comes in on day one, we're gonna talk to her about that. So if she's listening, be prepared. I will also be a guest on that, talking about the campaign itself, but then other topics. So topics such as federal funding that's come up. There's all these topics that are really important, and we wanted to give parents and families and community members a different way to access the information that was in the Bangor School Department. Being 10 to 20 minutes, it's something you can listen to when you drive your kids to school. You can listen to it while you're on lunch break. You can listen to it while you're making dinner. It's an easily digestible amount of time. Whereas a podcast that's longer, you may take it in stride, start, stop. And as we're all really busy with families, we wanted to make sure it was very easy to access and timely. As we've done in the past, we also wanted to make sure that our extracurriculars are really well advertised, but also using those to attract people from outside communities back into Bangor. So making sure that our music and theater programs are robust and able to be used to showcase what we're doing within the Bangor School Department. Our art exhibits and the partnerships that we have with the Bangor Public Library. I'm not sure what's happening to my presentation. As well as athletics and encouraging people to come in. Taking a piece of the playbook from the James F. Dowdy School, inviting people to be at the ticket selling booth, community partners, showing that there's community support for all parts of what's going on in Bangor. So really having more community involvement, not just in a video or as a letterhead, but also physically showing up and being engaged in those aspects. And then these are the community partnerships that we talked about earlier. So really engaging with our PTO and our booster clubs, hosting community forums, talking about important topics that we have and making sure that those are available, not just in person, but also in online formats so that people can watch them later on. As we know, we're busy people. And so making sure that there's a recording of something that someone might want to see, and having that be available to them. The community partners so far, Bangor Symphony Orchestra, Parks and Recreation, the Bangor Y and CNL Aviation Group. There's others that we've reached out to, and they've all been really excited about moving forward. We also have a new partnership with Smart Social, which is a student safety company. They provide videos and webinars for families talking about internet safety. And we've partnered with them for the upcoming year to give more information to our families about how to get around TikTok challenges and what students may encounter online, how to talk about video game addiction with your child. There's also the opportunity, which we have mentoring partnerships, where they have actually offered internships to our students to create videos and be a part of that learning process. So that when you watch a video, you might find someone from your class that you're in and actually know that person. With mentoring, we look at, we're hoping to expand our partnerships. We are continuing the partnership with UMaine and Husson at the high school and middle school levels, but we're always open to expanding those partnerships as well. So with all of these things, we're hoping that the Campaign of Belonging will encourage people to work with us, to partner with us, but also to instill that sense of belonging in our schools. Are there any questions?
Member O'Carry.
Thank you. First I want to say this sounds great. This sounds phenomenal. Thank you for the work that you put into this. I'm really excited about the 2025-2026 school year with more of this We Are Bangor belonging campaign. That being said, I also want to make sure that it works. And you mentioned a little bit about tracking engagement. Will it be tracking engagement as far as like the podcast and clicks on the screen or seeing how much people are actually engaging with it? And how will this be advertised? I know that you mentioned all the different ways, but are they all going to be cross-canceling or not cross-canceling, but
Cross-posted?
cross-posted?
Yes.
Exactly.
So absolutely, using all the different social media platforms that we have, making sure that they're available in all the different places. So the first podcast, let's actually talk about that first. The first podcast is going to be recorded soon. I don't have my calendar on me right now, but the first podcast is actually introducing the podcast. And so it's making it, so we can have a splash so that people can expect when the first real full podcast will be available. Making sure that people are aware of that on social media, that they can click a link. Our schools partner with Soundtrap, which is part of the Spotify conglomerate of podcasting pieces. So it posts automatically to Spotify. We'll have that link available so that people can actually just click on it easily and be able to subscribe. Also, recording it and posting it in other locations. So on our website, we've also updated our calendar on our website. So if you go to the Bangor School Department, you'll see that there are events from all the schools on the Bangor School Department website. So there's one place to go to get all the information, but we want to make sure that it's put in multiple places. So putting out our school calendar on our social media accounts, making sure that there's posts scheduled all the time to really engage our community.
And I would say also adding some of these links to the school newsletters as well in a parent resource.
Also, I'm sorry, so will engagement be tracked? Will how?
So yes, so we are keeping track of the videos and how much that reach is. I've also met with Principal Quirk about something that she used in her previous district about how to track and assess and evaluate what your reach is. And so we're going to be talking a little bit more about that as well.
Thank you. Member Biden.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this presentation. I really appreciate seeing this work, and I thank you very much for focusing on these efforts. It's so important. Comparable to Member O'Carry's question, in terms of metrics, very important, but how people feel is going to be very critical to whether or not we belong is something that can be measured. And so I'm wondering what the plan is for that.
So part of the community forums aspect that I talked about was actually having community focus groups and talking about what the needs are for different schools.
Okay.
There's been some documentation recently with the Maine Department of Education. They actually talked about an initiative that I do believe was in the South Portland School, was it South Portland Middle School? So there's some other work being done in the state. And so I've reached out and actually asked how they did things and what they did. They were very impressed. They've been in this a full year and they've seen engagement go up immensely.
Mhm.
So I've reached out and asked some questions about what they did. What are some things that they did that were really positive and were really accessible?
Mhm.
What would they not suggest doing? So learning from them as well.
And one thing I would add in terms of measurement is we have the PBIS fidelity inventory and the parent survey that goes out. I don't know if all of you have seen that yet. We've done kind of a staggered implementation of that, but we are looking to solidify that, and that's gonna also provide data. And it gives a sense there are questions on there that I'm looking to Principal Vickers because I know she knows it really well. There are questions that connect to a sense of belonging and feeling safe at school and things of that sort, and feeling like there's a trusted adult that they can come to. Those are all parts of that survey. So we are gonna be taking a close look at that as well as we embark this year.
No,
Yeah.
thank you very much. And I fully agree that's important. I think a big part of the work and, you know, maybe a recommendation would be, the marketing mind behind that PBIS survey. I think a lot of parents are like, I don't care about RAM awards, so I'm not gonna take the PBIS survey, not really recognizing that it is actually a full scope of engagement for teachers, the community, for parents and students. It's not just about behavior in the classroom. And so I think that's gonna be a big piece too, because I do think those are the right questions to ask. I just feel like they're couched in maybe a little bit of a mystery. And so I think that this is a great place to talk about, maybe a podcast episode, to talk about
The
that.
Mythbuster.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yes. And then, just one quick question, in terms of the community partnerships, obviously you're soliciting great partners, but if there are folks that run organizations, work with different organizations that would really be able to either help support this work or maybe want to be involved in this work, how would they go about being a We Are Bangor community partner?
I would recommend that anyone who's interested to reach out to me. So my email is rfinney@bangorschools.net. Or you can call the superintendent's office and they will direct phone calls to me as well. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you, Director.
Next up, we have superintendent's update.
So the following items are updates on the school department. In terms of the schools, our construction projects, as you noticed, I'm sure on the way in, are in full swing, and we are very hopeful and confident that everything will be done and ready for the start of the school year. We are looking closely, the two middle schools have had the most in-depth construction with the HVAC work being done, so we'll make a determination. There might be some modifications to those open houses, but that determination is gonna be made by the end of this week, so that folks have enough time to make those changes. I'll highlight again, even up until 3:30 today, I was interviewing and bringing on board high quality, really passionate, dedicated individuals that I'm really excited to see join our school department. A few things that Director Finney mentioned, I'll just highlight the partnership with Smart Social. This platform is really significant. Hopefully you've had a chance. If not, I would recommend taking a look at their website and all of their resources. With this partnership, we'll have our own specific dashboard and we can highlight those events and engage with our parent community. So that will be really helpful, I think, and parents will really appreciate the plethora of resources that they offer. I'm in the process of developing a goal and timeline document that's gonna kind of give us some overarching, I'd say, initiatives that we are embarking on this year. And those include the campaign of belonging that we just learned of and heard more about. Talking more about the central office registration process. So we were able to centralize registration with kind of a first step this summer. And the plan is to meet later in September with the team that was involved with that and revise and refine that to make it even better. Strategic for the online pilot program. We have enrollment, sounds like we are at our cap of 20 students. And again, this is a pilot program, referral basis. It isn't an open program at this point because we really want to make sure that we work out any kinks and make it a viable, sustainable program before opening up and making it too large. I'm in discussions with the district team and with the administrative team in terms of our strategic planning process on forming a core team that's going to work closely with myself and the facilitators, and there'll be further information on that. We've been reviewing our human resources, taking a close look at modifications that we can make to our application process, updating our job descriptions to include equitable requirements that really make sense in today's world. And one note on that, today I witnessed the evidence of the effectiveness of shifting that application process. So instead of the lengthy application for all different departments, we've streamlined that. So Director Finney has been able to make that work straight through the website. So that application is more relevant to the positions that are being applied for, and food services hired 3 people today. So, and that was a direct result. That was the messaging, like the application was more reasonable for the position that's being applied for. So it's definitely making a difference. So that's exciting. And we'll talk more about the formation of the 501c3 and that timeline. Talk about a facilities timeline. What are we doing in terms of our 10 buildings? And go in more in depth. And then our increased media presence, again, as Dr. Finney mentioned. In terms of the shift of the increased communication and focus on our campaign, we have shifted. I've shifted Director Finney's role to focus solely on community relations. And we have a district-wide safety coordinator that is reflected with everyone's approval in later policy, first readings of our policy updates. But that will really support these initiatives to be able to be effective and provide the best quality presentation of our campaign and consistent implementation. So I feel that that will be a helpful shift moving forward. Yesterday and today, we had our summer retreats, Administrative Academy Day 1 and District Team Retreat. Both days went really well. It was a lot of hard work and planning, as well as a lot of laughs and connecting, which is what I like to combine. Play hard, work hard. I think that's the best way to go. So that was great. We're all packed up and ready to go. My desk is completely empty with sticky notes that say Marie all over the chairs and the tables. So we are ready to go back to City Hall this Friday. So our next meeting will be there. And of course, the title funds have been released. So that's good news. And we are continuing with our end of year reporting as required by the state. Any questions?
Yes, Member Surratt?
Thanks for the report. Just wanted to ask about the online pathway pilot, called Ramp. Ramp
Yes.
Online. Can you just tell me a little bit more about this program? And I'm most interested in knowing who exactly will be teaching the core courses, or will core courses be being taught to the 14 students in math, English, science, and social studies, and if so, who is actually teaching those courses?
Sure. So this online pathway is designed for students who can work independently. We've partnered with a company called Edmentum that offers the coursework. And then we have our graduation coach, Angela Domina, who is going to be working and meeting with all of the students on a weekly or as needed basis to support them through the coursework. So it's more of an independent study, which is why but again, high quality. Edmentum is a very well vetted company that provides high quality coursework that is used in many different areas.
Okay.
So it's not ideal, but the idea is not your best choice in terms of instruction. We always want kids face to face and with human interaction, which is why this is really a step. It's designed to capture students who may not be as engaged and try to bridge that gap and hopefully work towards bringing them back into the building.
So, okay, and I wanted to ask that too. So they'll be engaging in this learning from their home. They won't be engaged in the learning online physically here or
Correct.
physically within the high school.
From their homes.
Thanks.
Sure.
Member Carey?
I had a question, what the predicted numbers, and maybe you won't know until this pilot process is done. But for the 2026-2027 school year.
I think that's something that we're all interested in identifying, and I think it will become more clear as the year progresses and we see those. It really is that iterative process where, you know, we have what we think is gonna be a viable option, but it's really gonna depend on how it goes. We're certainly gonna have feedback through, you know, Dr. Butler, you know, our teacher, Ms. Domina, and of course, the students and families, you know, how is it working for them? And do they see this as a viable pathway? I see it myself as kind of a scaffolding or like a structured support for those students who may go on to take online college courses. Asynchronous college courses are pretty common these days. They don't have as much engagement. They don't necessarily meet face to or via Zoom on a regular basis like we're doing. So we're kind of scaffolding that in terms of the, you know, synchronous support through Zoom on a regular basis to make sure students are on track and they have that person to bounce ideas off of, discuss, and then if they need further support, that will be arranged as well. So starting with that, knowing that potential, if college is a pathway for them, that they would be, you know, well suited for that next step as well.
Thank you. Any other member, Brian?
I just want to say that I just appreciate this from an accessibility standpoint, and so many students that actually entering the building is a barrier for so many reasons. So just being able to ensure that we don't lose those students to a year of working through the expectation that you have to be in a certain place at a certain time to continue your learning, but give them the tools and resources to get them to a place where whatever that journey is going to look like, they have the support. And I appreciate that, you know, Angela Domino will be the one going in to provide that, you know, or meeting with them wherever they're able to meet to provide that. I think that she's obviously a very gifted human in terms of making those connections. So I appreciate that question. That opened up a little bit more information about it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I want to ask one more follow-up. Sure. Yeah. Is the, and I understand we're in a pilot phase here, but is the intention going forward to offer this to a very specific set of students, or is the intention to expand this offering to a larger population of students within Bangor School Department?
At this point, the discussions that we've had with the team involved have really centered around making sure that we continue to be responsive to the needs of our community. We really have to pay attention to that. You know, there are a lot of options out there for schooling these days. We talked a little bit about enrollment. I continue to see, you know, people do choose homeschooling. Those emails come into me. So we're really trying to make sure that we have a pathway. You know, we have a lot of great opportunities for the students at the high school through the academies that are there. Perhaps this turns into a pathway that is, you know, a possibility for students. It's not going to be for all students. But I know that when I was at my previous role during COVID, there were, and it's a small percentage. This is not something that is going to work for everyone, just like any other pathway may not be 100% for everyone. But there were a handful of students that excelled and really thrived in this, in the online environment, and then they continued to do that beyond COVID. So I think for that small population, that accessibility piece, I think it's just gonna open up Bangor to be, again, increased sense of belonging, because if you're struggling to get into the building, that might not be the only reason, not 100%, but if that's a barrier, we're helping to remove barriers to support your education. To be responsive. I mean, if everyone hates it and it's not working, then we're certainly not going to expand it.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna, Tim asked almost the question that I was gonna ask of, is there criteria once the launch is complete for, because it's unlikely, but what if there was a capacity and it was just really great, like larger than expected? Is there like a criteria to limit or give it to the most, students that, I shouldn't say need it the most, but would benefit the most from the program? Or is it, there is no limit since it's online, it doesn't really matter? Or just trying to get an idea of how the process would work in the future. And it might not even come up. There might not be that many students that are interested in it, after this pilot project.
Yeah,
But
we're
it might be a great success and.
right.
So many people.
Right. These are all the discussions that we've already started. And again, we're gonna meet regularly during the school year to, better determine what the needs are moving forward. So if it seems to be really going well and we start to get calls, like, how do I get into this program? And these, are valid reasons that are really gonna benefit the student and family, then I think that through discussions with the administrative team, Dr. Butler, and, Ms. Domina and the guidance department, who are the ones most heavily involved, I think we'll come up with a viable plan to, again, be responsive to the students and make sure that all of their needs are met and that they don't have to go somewhere else because Bangor doesn't have it. That's what we're trying to, support.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question, not about, the pathway, but, about the general report. Where are we, or what's the next phase in the strategic planning process? I might have zoned out when.
That's okay, I said a lot. So right now, I had a meeting on Monday with Jennifer Chase, the one who came and presented the staff survey information. We had our retreat. So the next phase will be in September, or early October, we'll have a recruitment team. So I'm gonna be reaching out over the next 3 to 4 weeks to gather a volunteer team, including a couple of committee members, all the way down to students, to form that team that's gonna be most heavily involved in kind of the planning, the promoting, and the follow-up of that strategic plan. So once that team is done, there'll be an onboarding process that takes place for that. And then the listening sessions will occur as they are coordinated at each of the schools to include community staff, families and students. And then we're anticipating that sometime in the spring, probably April or May, there'll be a kind of a summary of here's what we have at this point. And then kind of take it from there in terms of next steps. What I really like about this process and the way that it's designed through this group is that they're not taking the information and creating a strategic plan for us. They're listening to the everyone that's involved. They're compiling what was heard, and then they're handing it back to us to really personalize it and say, yes, this makes sense. How are we gonna make this an actionable plan? And we had a rich discussion earlier today at the district team level and really, solidifying that it's gonna be our plan. This is not, something that's gonna be handed to us. We're actually gonna work through that framework that's provided to us to really make it something meaningful.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, it's very informative. Moving on to report of reassignments.
I'm reporting the following reassignments for the 25-26 school year. Christy McClure from Title I teacher at 0.57 Abraham Lincoln School and 0.43 at Bangor Christian School, to Title I teacher 0.8 Abraham Lincoln School and 0.2 Bangor Christian School. Megan Shaw from literacy coach at 0.22 14th Street School, 0.22 Fruit Street, 0.22 Abe Lincoln, 0.22 Mary Snow, and 0.12 Bangor Regional Program, to literacy coach at 0.6 Fruit Street and 0.4 Abraham Lincoln School. Katrina Rutherford from literacy coach at Down East School to literacy coach at 0.9 Down East School and 0.1 Bangor Regional Program. Shelley Morin from literacy coach at Fairmount School to literacy coach at 0.5 Fairmount School and 0.5 Mary Snow School. Rachel Rowland from Title I teacher at Fairmount School to Title I teacher at 0.6 Fairmount and 0.4 Vine Street School. Shayna Curtis from literacy coach at Vine Street School to literacy coach at 0.6 Vine Street School and 0.4 14th Street School. And Angela Lundy from resource room teacher at 0.9 Mary Snow School and 0.1 William S. Cohen School to a resource room teacher at Mary Snow School.
Thank you. And next up, we have a report of resignations.
I have the following recommendations for the 2025-2026 school year. Bobby Rogerson, Assistant Golf Coach, Bangor High School.
Thank you. And next up, we have business action items. First action item is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of July 16th, 2025.
I'm recommending approval of the draft minutes of the July 16th, 2025 regular school committee meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
5-0, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of the August bids and quotations reports. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. Next, we have new teacher nominations.
I'm recommending the following teacher nominations for the 2025-2026 school year with a 1-year probationary contract. Lynn Rush, special education teacher, special education ELA teacher, Bangor High School. Walter Stanley, grade 4 teacher, 1-year position at Fairmount School. Michelle Dunning, school nurse, Fruit, Abe, and 14th Street. Maynard Walton, history, Bangor High School. Heidi Fairbrother, special education teacher, Mary Snow School.
Thank you. And can I get a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. And next we have second extra duty assignments.
I'm recommending the following extra duty assignments. Eric Stedman, 0.7 math team assistant coach, Bangor High School. Ryan Nickerson, 0.1 math team assistant coach, Bangor High School. Jonathan Deering, 0.1 math team assistant coach, Bangor High School. Patty Craig, 0.1 math team assistant coach, Bangor High School.
And can I get a motion?
second,
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. And next we've got second reading of revised policies.
And I'm recommending approval of the second reading of the revised policy. Revised policy JLCD, administering medications to students in school.
And can I get a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. Next, we have introductory items, and we have the approval of the first reading of revised policies.
I'm recommending approval of the first reading of the revised policies, revised policy GDB 7, support staff compensation guide, and revised policy GDB 9, supplemental compensation guide.
And can I get a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
5-0.
Thank you. And next up, we have committee updates. Do we have any representatives reports? No. Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
oh, good.
Member Chandra.
So I just wanted to give a shout out. We're a Fairmount family in my household, and this summer, the 21st Century Program summer camps have been an absolute delight. The learning that happened and the play and the fun. I don't think my child has ever been this tanned and like just loving life, going to like learn stuff and then go to the pool every day. The staff has been phenomenal. The transportation has been exceptional, on time, just a really great way for us to get through the summer, and it's really been enjoyable for him. So thank you to everybody who makes that possible. It's really been a great summer.
Thank you. Member Surratt.
Just one more comment on the online pathway, I promise. I like the way that it was explained and member Bryden's comments about students with barriers and this being a pathway for those students. That makes a lot of sense to me, right? So for instance, maybe a student who has a general anxiety disorder diagnosis makes perfect sense. I'd become a little concerned, and I understand we're in the pilot. I'd be concerned if we went beyond this sort of narrow application of this pathway to a broader application of this type of pathway that was open really to any student that was interested in it. Speaking now, I mean, I'd certainly be open to other perspectives and conversation, discussion, but just that gives me a little bit of concern.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Next up, we have information items, important dates, August 15th, 2025, superintendent and business offices are moving back to City Hall. Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, beginning of the year ceremony, 7:45 a.m. at Peaks Auditorium, Bangor High School. Tuesday, September 2nd is the first day of school. Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, regular meeting, 7 p.m. in council chambers. And Wednesday, September 24th, regular, 2025, regular meeting, 7 PM in council chambers. And at this time, move to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
5-0. You.
Right. So this is. Wow. Where's that water? I didn't like that.